Hello, everybody. I'm back again for my moon check-in, moon cycle check-in. Just to talk a little bit about the effects on myself and the experiences from the most recent full moon in Leo that we just experienced a few days ago. And as usual, I'm also really happy to hear, and I always look forward to reading the comments below and hearing from you all, my amazing subscribers and viewers. So please share. Feel free to chime in and let me know how this full moon in Leo energy and in general the moon cycle impacted you, but even more so, the energy in the days that were approaching it, and even after, up until through today. I'm always happy to read and hear about it, and of course, again, I do these check-ins to kind of share what's going on for me and how the energies and everything impact my personal energy in my life. And hopefully sometimes, or most of the time, it's relatable. At least that's my hopes in sharing and trying to be open. So this particular full moon in Leo, of course, full moons are about releasing, closing of cycles, and moving into a new energy of intentions based off of that clearing, that illumination, that release, preparing for the reset, moving into that space, giving you the opportunity to reflect on the full cycle and really allowing you to go inward and be aware of what intentions you're wanting to set based off of what you've released, based off of what's been illuminated and what's been cleared. And I know for myself, the year 2020 and even the beginning of this year, 2021, was so much and has so much been about releasing fears, and releasing situations, people, things, mindsets, old program beliefs, limited beliefs, perspectives, especially perspectives about myself, beliefs about myself, even beliefs about what I thought I wanted, what I thought I knew, who I thought I was. It's been so much about really doing the inner work, really going within and doing the self-reflection, and really sitting and assessing and moving through, the various myriad of emotions, emotions that can be so overwhelming and have been so overwhelming. It seems like for me, each time there's a different month, a different moon cycle, I'm just like inundated with all these different emotions and all these different energies moving through me. And I had to process so much, so many different situations, so many different circumstances that required a leveling up of perspective, going higher, seeking a higher vantage point, really, truly, intentionally being aligned in and as my highest self, resonating with my highest self and highest level of consciousness, so that I don't move, in fear, in that fear that I've been releasing for this last year or so. So even, the last full moon was a lot of releasing. But for me, I think this full moon in Leo was like the final closing off, or closing up of cycles with people and relationships, and cycles of situations that correlated or corresponded to belief systems that I had been carrying for years, ever since even childhood or early adulthood. I'm in my 30s, so I know that doesn't seem like that long ago, but for me, it seems like forever ago, especially since I have a kid. But the closing off of cycles that were so embedded and tied to embedded beliefs and thought processes or ways of processing. And in so much reflection of that, it's surprising how many and so many of my ways of processing and analyzing and ways of showing up were tied to fear. And it's so wild because fear manifests itself in so many different ways, so many covert ways. A lot of times it manifests in what you think is wisdom and knowledge, or like this knowingness, or you think it's your intuition, but it's not your intuition or gut feeling at all. It's just that, you're petrified, or you've been scared of these situations your whole life, and you feel like you're so strong and so safe and protected within yourself. But really, it's that, like for me, I'd been coping, or I'd been feeling like I was protecting myself and so strong on myself. But the reality was, I had been surviving. I had been looking at myself as having thrived and survived all these situations, and prepared for oncoming situations and relationships, with this belief that, oh, I'm never going to let that happen to me again, or I'll never be in that situation again. And it was really like, oh, you were so scared and petrified in that situation, and you're so grateful to have gotten through it. Now these are the ways we operate, or the way we see it whenever it shows up. And whenever we see it and it shows up, we're triggered to go into protective mode and to be the pillar of strength. But I think what I've learned, especially, again, having come through closing cycles and coming through this full moon in Leo, was that in reality, if I had truly been safe within myself all along, I wouldn't have had to feel like I had to be so protective and be that pillar of strength and that pillar of, protection, that armor of protection around myself and really around others, because others are just as safe. And every time I think they're not, I'm really disempowering them. But every time I question my own safety, by disguising it as being strong or assertive, or having extra strong boundaries, I realized that it really was because I was, scared of abandonment, scared of rejection, trying to avoid abandonment, trying to avoid rejection, avoiding commitment. And not just commitment in relationships, but commitment to myself in different avenues and journeys within my own life, whether it's staying at a job, working through family situations with family members, friends, even with me having started my own business. I started my own business, as a lot of you know, in 2020. I'm now doing life coaching, Reiki energy healing. I'm a certified Reiki master now, certified life coach, and it was one of the bravest things I've done because I'm so passionate about it. And I've been so passionate about the work without having the true knowledge or understanding of the field and how all of it worked, and that I could, make it a career, and grow, and expand creatively with that career. Everything from having this YouTube channel or starting my podcast, which I'm going to be uploading my first episode here in a few days. So everybody keep an eye out for that, or an ear out for that. It will be here on this YouTube channel, but it will also be on a couple other platforms. So again, I'll definitely let everyone know when it's coming, of course, but keep an eye out and an ear out But everything from, the YouTube channel, the podcast, the book that I'm writing, the public speaking, and the partnerships, the creative partnerships, and projects that I've been working on that are all tied to the same type of advice, coaching, therapeutic advice, and support that I offer, or guidance that I offer. It was a brave leap of faith that I had taken. But even then, there's so much fear embedded in surrounding it. This full moon in Leo, I really decided I was going to move through and release this burden of lack. This burden of lack around finances and truly asking for what I deserve, whether that's the rate for the services I offer at in my new role, my new career within my own business, but even asking the universe for what I want, and really standing in that and commanding that, really seeing my value, and because of that, releasing the burden of lack, or the mentality, mindset of lack around knowing that I wanted to have all this, but not really believing that I deserved it enough to command it, ask for it, operate like it's already mine. Because there was still that fear around, am I really worth this rate? Am I really worth this love, this relationship, this healthy, loving relationship where I feel as important as I know I am? And not even from like an egotistical standpoint, but just from a value, a self-value, a self-worth, a knowingness that I put it all on the line, blood, sweat, tears for everyone I love, in every relationship that I have, and in every avenue, every aspect that I show up in the world, and truly expecting that when I do that, knowing and trusting that it will be returned to me because I'm worth that. And for so long, I had struggled with, is that, arrogance? Is that egotistical? Is it wrong for me to operate and believe that and ask for more? Am I being ungrateful for asking for more and not just taking what I'm given? And I had to really reprogram myself, and again, release the mindset of lack and let go of, those fears of judgment, judging myself even. And that's really key, right? Judging yourself. So I had so much to release and so many cycles to close with this full moon in Leo. And having done so, especially the mindset around the burden of lack and the lack mindset or mentality, I've found myself, updating my rates to what I believe I'm worthy of receiving, from my time invested in each and every individual that I serve and that I assist. I found myself not being so fearful when I make little purchases here and there, for myself and for my daughter, or for my family and friends, and not constantly checking my bank account for every single penny, dime, and nickel, and really balancing the budget to make sure, okay, when am I going to get more money that can replace this and this, that, and the other? Not operating like that, where I have to be so nervous that I might not get this money back. Like, I'm calling in that I'm going to get what I deserve and what I'm worthy of, and that, God is my supply, and there's a supply for every demand. And I release that supply with my spoken word, and it is so, and it is so. And like with saying that and going with that, I had to truly believe in that. And so I found myself again, updating the rates and making, those purchases here and there, not being stressed about it. But then also, too, I had a situation where one of the clients that I wanted to work with had canceled. And typically I don't offer refunds, but I was like, you know what? I need to go ahead and offer this refund because at the end of the day, I don't need the money bad enough to keep it when the person doesn't want the service anymore, and they're almost being pressured into it, that's not going to feel right. That's not going to be energetically right. And honestly, it also is not in alignment with the fact that God is my supply and that there's a supply for every demand and I have more than enough. So there's no reason for me to keep anything of anyone's that they don't want me to have. You know what I mean? So even that was an example of, do I really believe that I have more than enough, where I'm just comfortable going ahead and giving this lady back her money? And I was. And I feel like giving her back her money and having that conversation with her and apologizing to her about having kept it to begin with, shifted the dynamic and that energy, right? And that energetic relationship, that energetic exchange, making it positive versus negatively karmic. And I also feel like at the end of the day, because I was able to move through that lesson of truly following through with releasing the burden of lack around finances, and applying it in that specific situation, which was a very recent situation, I was able to really solidify and affirm the fact that I'm getting it. I'm actually getting it and trusting it. And then I get to maintain the relationship with her because I'm sure she'll probably end up booking with me later on. And even if she doesn't, it's not a big deal because, we both did the right thing. We did what felt right to us, and what we knew was right for us. So yeah, and then even with relationships wise, I've been releasing relationships, even friendships that don't serve my highest, greatest good, that are not in alignment with my highest frequency and aren't in alignment with who I am anymore. The new Devyn, the new higher resonating, better, stronger as far as like showing up, less fearful Devyn, they're just not in alignment anymore. And for me, this full moon in Leo really solidified that, closed that out, illuminated that, and really affirmed and comforted me. There was like this wave of energy that I received during the 2 or 3 days, like before, during, after, or it was just like this filling up of energy and being enveloped with cosmic planetary energy, divine loving energy from higher dimensions, blending in with my own personal energy that had been turned up, amped up, and I could feel it in my heart chakra. My heart chakra was just pulsating those days, and I was just vibrating so high those days because it was such a reassurance that, like, yes, Devyn, do what's right for you, release what no longer serves for you, close out this cycle. And by closing off this cycle and walking away from this relationship, these relationships, you are calling in what does resonate with you, what you do deserve and what deserves you. And you're telling God, Source, Creator, Yehuah, Yahusha, Galactic Father, Son, Creator, and Spirit guides, Spirit team, angels and archangels. You're telling everybody, all the divine light beings, and most importantly, you are affirming within your own God divine right, your own God divine energy, that you will not accept anything less than what is in alignment with you, anything less than what your heart truly desires, anything less than what you know at a conscious and subconscious level, human level even, we can say that. You're not going to accept anything less than that. Nothing less than what you deserve and want. And I just was so proud of myself because I, again, had been struggling so much with programming and really calling in what I deserve and feeling good about it and knowing that I can be humble and I can be full of love and gratitude and of service like I am. And because that's what brings me so much joy, to be a divine light and to be of service. But then, like, I still get to, be loved on and doted on and receive blessings and gifts from the universe and manifest abundance and, receive abundance in my life and be happy, be at peace, balance, harmony, joy, comfort, all of these things that I am, and be reassured that I am worthy and that I am safe and that I no longer have to settle or sacrifice any of my self-worth, any of my self-love for someone else's love, or a love that does not serve who I truly am and is not in alignment with my own love. And for that, I couldn't be more grateful. This full moon in Leo, if that was the only thing that it offered me, and of course it wasn't, because again, like I said, I did a lot of releasing and setting intentions, but those were for me, like the focal points and like the bigger themes for me, really sitting with the power dynamics and releasing all of what has had me in position of giving away my power, releasing and surrendering to spirit and to the universe. All of those things that did not serve me allowed me to stand in my power and take my power back and feel really good and really confident about where I'm at and who I am and what I am here in this present moment, even though we all know that time is an illusion and that we're always on this time-space continuum. Everything happens all at the same time, which is like wild even to think about, because I know myself personally, I've jumped timelines and shifted paradigms for sure, like just even in the last 6 months, last couple months, last year even. But yeah, in this present conscious moment, I was like, yeah, I'm calling in different stuff, and I'm calling in more for myself, more joy, more happiness, more fulfillment, emotionally, psychologically, spiritually, physical fulfillment, all forms of fulfillment. I'm calling them in. I'm claiming them, naming them, saying them, claiming them for myself. And for all of y'all, I'm claiming them for the collective's highest, greatest good of our highest, most Christed crystalline light. And I'm looking forward to a push and movement forward in my own trajectory because of this full moon in Leo, but also the trajectory for like the collective and where we're going and how we're taking leaps forward, and we're shifting, into this higher conscious paradigm, this higher vibration, higher vibrating paradigm where we are divine or more divine in our own divine light, our own divine essence. And moving out of this, patriarchal, lower vibrating, relying on, the government and powers that be paradigm, and really taking our own, individual powers back, and thus, as a collective, taking our power back. So that is all I have as far as sharing for how this full moon in Leo really impacted me. So please feel free to like, share, subscribe, comment how it impacted you or anything you'd like to share. I love to learn from people too. So if anyone who knows more about astrology or knows a lot about astrology has anything also to share in the comments, I am more than happy to read. And I'm sure the other people who come and watch the video and read the comments could benefit and learn as well. So thank you. I hope you all are doing well, and I look forward to the next video. I will be dropping one of my regular YouTube videos either later this week or early next week on Monday or Tuesday. I've been working on this new series and collection, so I'm really excited about it. So that's why I've been a little MIA, but the waiting is not in vain. It's going to be really cool. But in the meantime, I do think I'm going to do a short video and drop that. So keep an eye out for that. Bye, y'all.